So I'm sure you have a lot of questions about mountain boarding. So I went through all of NBS's most common questions on our YouTube channel, and today we're going to answer it. But don't worry, if you already mountain board, we're going to do a bunch of riding, so make sure you stick around. All right, it's an absolute ripper day here in Melbourne, Australia, and we're going to start things off on the pump track. All right, I'm just looking at my list here, and the first question is, can you compare the Colt, Core, and Comp decks? All right, so the Colt, Core, and Comp decks are all different price points, and they're all a little bit different. So let's start off with the Colt.
The Colt 90 is a great little board. It's made out of a high grade maple with this rad galaxy graphic. The Colt 90 deck weighs in at just 1.9 kilograms or 4.2 pounds, making it easy for smaller riders to catch a little air. The board is also 94.9 centimeters, making it easy for younger riders to spin on. The deck tip and tail is 20 degrees, so the ATS skate style trucks are the best suited for this board. The Colt 90 deck is an affordable option for your first board. Next up is the Core 94 deck. The Core 94 deck is made up of our Powerslide technology, a makeup of fiberglass and maple. The deck weighs in at 2.3 kilograms or about 5 pounds and is 93.7 centimeters long. This board is great for both young and adult beginner riders. I use this board for our mountain board lessons with Australian mountain boarders because it's nice and light, strong and affordable, and it's suitable for most riders. Kiteboarders actually use this deck a lot because it's very durable and very light when you're up there in the sky. Last but definitely not least is the all-powerful Comp 95. Now the Comp 95 is a little bit more expensive than the other two previous boards, but for good reason. The Comp 95 is a super strong power lamp construction made up of maple, epoxy and fiberglass for a lightweight but durable deck. It weighs in at 2.3 kilograms or 5 pounds and is 95 centimeters in length. My favorite feature of this deck is the asymmetric concave. What is asymmetric concave, you may ask? Well, it's a mold in the deck that is ergonomically contoured to match the natural curve of your foot, placing the low point of the concave directly under the ball of your foot for comfort and that locked in feeling every rider loves. The Comp 95 is strong as hell and will last you for many seasons to come.
There's a little skate park up here I'm going to muck around on, but this is a good question I just read, and it was in reference to one of the NBS entry-level boards. But why are the bindings so duck-footed? Now they're not so duck-footed on these, but on some of the smaller boards they are, and that's because, here I'll grab the camera. A mountain board binding is pretty different to a snowboard binding. With a mountain board binding you're just wearing shoes and you've got this top strap, and some boards like mine have a heel strap. Now, most of the boards NBS sell come without the heel strap. So what riders do is they apply pressure of this part of their foot against this post here, and same on the back, this part of your foot to this post. So you think the binding should go like that, but what you actually want to do is pigeon toe your foot a bit so you're fully locked into place so your foot can't come out. If you're doing it right, you won't be able to drag your foot out. Okay, so what I do is I actually wear these heel straps because they give you more control, and my foot is completely secure, so that's not as vital for me. So I actually use these little bolts here to adjust my bindings in and out, and you can also adjust the angles kind of like a snowboard. So hopefully that answers your question. All right, I just walked to the top of the hill to this cute little skate park here, and the next question is, how easy is it to do a grind on a mountain board? So I'm going to give you a few tips. Okay, so I come from a skateboarding background, and I find sometimes doing grinds on a mountain board easier than a skateboard, only because you're so much higher off the ground. As you can see here, my board is almost half the height of the rail. So I always tell these people when they're learning tricks to make it not as scary on a rail. So you're already halfway there. So if you look at me, if I was going to do a board side, all I have to really do is I can pretty much manual onto the rail. So all you need to do is pop up like the slightest bits just so you're off the ground, and then you can push your weight onto the rail and do a board side really quick. I'm obviously oversimplifying it, But on the other side, if you want to do a 50-50 grind, same thing. You're almost as high as the rail. So all you need to do is a slight ollie onto the rail and you're there. As opposed to a skateboard where you have to do a full ollie as high as you can to get up that high. With a mountain board, when you're learning, you can almost just do a straight jump onto the rail. Now, when I tell people when they're learning how to do grinds on a rail like this, you see a lot of people, they put up like a little kicker and then you can ride onto a rail. That's a really great way to get the feel of it. But when you want to hit a rail properly, the first trick I'd probably learn is a little 5-0 on the end of the rail, kiss the rail. So all you need to do is ollie up and ding the end of it. All right, so that's a good start, and then you can work your way further back down the rail. Same with the board side. I'd start at the very end of the rail and just try and hit the end of it. So all you need to do is that little ollie, lean forward and look forward, and you'll slide. As I said before, the more confident you get, you can work your way down the rail. And I've actually filmed the whole board slide tutorial on the YouTube channel. It'll be in the description below, and I'll try to carve something up here. Whew. All right, well, we've just stopped. We're on the way to the next spot, and I'm just going to fill my drink bottle up. But I thought I'd take this opportunity to answer the next question. And the next question is, how do you get on the team? Well, if you want to be on the NBS team, you need to have a high level of skill. You need to be posting a lot on social media. You need to be riding several times a week. We want to see people out there progressing, getting better. We want to see people active in the community, and yeah, we just want to see you guys going for it. I actually made a video about it last month. If you want to go check it out, I'll put a link up here somewhere. But pretty much we want you guys to send us a sponsor me tape. Show us why we should choose you and why you're different to every other mountain boarder. All right, drink time. All right, so I'm going to try and attempt 2 questions at once here. First question, I get this question a lot actually. How do you get momentum? How do you get speed on flat ground with a mountain board? You can tic-tac like a skateboard, which I do a lot because I have heel straps and completely locked in. But you can also fold the heel straps up like this, so you can push it like a skateboard. The only difference is you have to push it pretty wide, but it's really easy. I actually made a whole video about it. You can see it up here. All right, so this is how you push on a mountain board. It's just like that, pretty easy. And the second thing is, can you cruise down a street? So let's go try it out. We just arrived at one of my favorite local spots to ride. And the next question is, need some board maintenance tips. So here's a few easy ones. The first thing that you should try and do every couple of weeks, maybe every couple of months, and even if like your board's feeling a bit ick, a bit yuck, doesn't feel like quite responsive, quite snappy as it usually does. This happens to me a bit. You want to go and tighten up all of your hardware. So big ones, this is the wrong Allen key. The big ones are the truck mounting hardware. They can come loose over time if you're riding heaps. So this will make a huge difference. If they're a little bit loose, then you lose precision. So you always want to try and keep these super tight. So you can see mine's got a few turns in them, a little bit loose. Now these don't often come loose. These like that one's fine. These axles on the new Matrix 3 trucks. But if you do find one that's loose, I'd recommend actually taking the axle out and putting some red Loctite on it and then putting it back together. Like this one here's a little loose, so I'll have to put some Loctite on that guy there. Next one is lubricating your bearings. Now, don't be tempted to spray WD-40 over all over your bearings. You'll actually dry the bearing out. You want to use like a sewing oil is really good. Any sort of lubricating oil. This one here is just a branded skate oil that I've had forever. It's just like a Bones speed cream is what it's called, but it really is just a fancy word for lubricant. So every couple of months, really, it's not a huge deal. I just kind of put a bit of lubricant in the bearings, just do a few little, I'll do a little close up here. Just like this, a few drops along the bearing like that. And then I just like to give it a little spin so it works its way in. And once you ride it, it'll work completely in. You can also pop these bearing shields off and get the lubricant in there. You can also clean it out with diesel if you want to go crazy and then put it back together. But if you do that, it should get spinning pretty smooth. And it also gets rid of any sort of noise because the dirt builds up there and it makes some weird noises. But yeah, lube her up. Oh yeah, and I do the inside of the wheel too, just like this. So I ride quite a lot, and you can see here on this tire I'm getting some wear along here. I've probably got a couple more weeks left in it, but it's, you know, this middle part where you ride on the most is actually quite worn, so I'm going to have to replace these tires in a couple of weeks so I can get more traction. Another thing that wears out if you ride a lot over time is the grip tape. Now this grip tape is actually very coarse and it does last a long time, but every time you slide your foot in and out, it does wear a bit. As you can see here, mine is wearing out around my heel because I obviously apply a lot of pressure there. So the same sort of thing with my tires. I think I would need to replace this grip tape in maybe a month or so. All right, so there's a quick few tips. Just get everything tight, replace anything that needs to. You just want your board to feel solid as a rock, dialed in, and yeah, you'll be riding smooth. All right, enough board talk, it's time to ride more. All right, so the next question, it's actually a great question, we get this a lot, is there a weight capacity on the mountain boards? And we've actually made you a fancy chart. So you can look at it here, and as you can see, each board has a different weight capacity. So you can choose the board depending on your weight, and there's also other cool information. Take a screenshot if you want. It's also on the website. All right, I might try and jump from here and land down into that bank. It's pretty quick, so hopefully I survive. So I just did a poll on my Instagram broadcast channel, and I was like, hey guys, should I do a back 360 into that bank or should I do a switchback one? And after doing that last jump, I'm kind of regretting my choice. It's a lot faster than I thought it is. There's a giant helicopter going over right now. So yeah, I'm gonna try a back three. And the reason why I'm going so fast is the ground is very compact and hard, and I have very high tire pressure. So that leads us into the next question. How much tire pressure do I run? Well, normally, like earlier today, we rode the skate park, I had higher tire pressure. I had 100 PSI in my tires, so it was very hard, so I could go very quick with minimal effort. So high tire pressure is good if you want to go really fast, and lower tire pressure, say 60 to 40, I find is good for me for like mountain bike trails, doing like quick downhill stuff, because when you have softer tires, you actually have more grip. So you can stay on corners when you're going quick and stuff like that. So I often carry a pump with me so I can adjust my tire pressure to what I'm riding. And if you're gonna put higher tire pressure in your wheels, make sure you have like the new Rockstar 2 hubs, because they're the only hubs I found that can handle that higher pressure. If you have different hubs, sometimes they explode. So if you wanna go fast, invest in some new wheels. All right, it's the moment of truth. Here goes the back three. Okay, dogs on the track, dogs on the track. What the? I hope they're going past where I want to land. All right, here we go, moment of truth, back three. Oh yeah, keeps the hat on. All right, for the question I probably get asked the most is, how do you stop on a mountain board? Well, it's actually pretty easy. It's by doing what's called a power slide. I'm gonna head up the hill and talk you through a power slide. Never works. All right, I'm back at the top again, and now I'm feeling like I have to do the switchback one. I don't know what's scarier, the switchback one or the back three, but I guess we're gonna find out. Here we go. Oh yeah. All right, power slide.
The first step in a power slide is focus on where you want to slide, then grab your board with your back hand. Once you have grabbed your board, you want to use your muscles to pull your board in towards your chest and apply pressure to your heels. This will make your board turn and slide back up the hill, causing you to stop. Your front hand skims along the ground to give you a bit more stability and to keep your butt off the ground. But once you come to a stop, stay low and get back up and go ride.
So that's the power slide. When I teach people how to mountain board, I always teach them how to power slide. It's the safest, easiest way to stop on a mountain board. And you obviously don't need to do it that quick. You can do it really slow until you get comfortable. And you can do it on many different types of terrain. You can do it on grass, dirt, gravel, even bitumen. With bitumen, you just got to pull the board a bit harder so it slides a bit more aggressively. But here's a few of my favorite power slides. Power slides aside, you can do a few other techniques to stop a mountain board or control your speed or slow down. I'm gonna send you guys to this video if you haven't seen it yet. All right, so this is another really great question. How long does it take to get good at jumps as a beginner? I find with all the kids I've taught how to mountain board, they pick up jumps pretty quick. And some of our mountain board shows with Australian mountain boarders, we have kids learning how to jump in like 20 minutes. So I think the main thing is you need to be confident in your riding ability. You want to be able to turn, carve, slow down, stop correctly. And then you want to learn how to do some ollies on the flat ground. You want to be able to learn how to jump, land, and ride away smoothly. And then the next step would be finding a little dirt jump like this or building your own little ramp, probably like 1 foot tall, a bit lower than this. I actually did a full tutorial on how to build a ramp on my actual personal YouTube channel, Dylan Warren. But the main thing when you're doing jumps, I always tell everyone to stare at the center of the jump. Don't take your eye off the center of the jump, the lip of the ramp, which is like this bit here. You want to focus on that and you want to ride up the ramp. Now, the first time you ever do a jump, if you have a small enough jump like this, you can just roll over it like this. As long as your knees are bent, you'll be able to roll over the ramp. You can see this mountain board is pretty much a little bit lower than the ramp itself. So you should be able to, providing your knees are bent and your balance, you should be able to just roll over it. The next step would be rolling over it and doing a little bit of a manual. So you kind of plop off the end. And then the third step is popping off the lip, lifting your legs up so your board is balanced, and then landing with your knees bent. If you want me to do a proper tutorial on that, let me know in the comments and I'll get it done. But now, I'm just gonna collect you. Now, it's time for me to have a bit of fun on these little jumps here. What do you reckon? Can you believe it's already 2024?
We're getting ready for another big year of mountain boarding here at NBS, and we want to know what you guys want to see on the YouTube channel. Is it vlogs? Is it more riding clips? Is it answering your questions? Let us know in the comments below. But for now, I just want to know.
Oh man, when is someone going to invent me a hat doesn't fall off? All right guys, thanks for watching. Get off the couch and I'll see you next time on the hill.